Hello everyone, welcome to SSB Crack Exams. I'm Anuradha, and in today's session I'm going to give you the answers and their explanations for Series 1 2020 English paper. The questions that we're going to solve today are from the section Ordering of Sentences. I'm following Set A question paper of Series 1 2020 exam. Therefore, the questions from Ordering of Sentences will be from question number 41 to 50. So we're going to solve the Set A Series 1 2020 English paper 41, question number 41 to question number 50 from the section Ordering of Sentences. Now, before we start solving the question, let's give you an overview of what we do at SSB Crack Exams. We provide you with a one-stop solution for not only preparation for the serious exam, but also for other defense competitive examinations like AFCAT, NDA, Territorial Army, INET, and so on. Right? So you can just take a look at the courses by visiting our website SSBCrackExams.com, and you can buy those courses by just entering this code Warrior10 to get an extra 10% discount on all courses, right? So you could also follow us at our YouTube channel SSB Crack Exams and the Instagram page by the same name. Our website also you can visit learn.ssbcrackexams.com, and you can also download our mobile app from Google Play Store itself by just searching SSB Crack Exams. Just type it in the search box and you'll get it, right? So we will get back to the questions that we're going to solve today from the section Ordering of Sentences, and this is Series 1 2020 English paper question paper Set A. All right, Set A. So we will just read the directions first because this is important. So in this section, each item consists of 6 sentences of a passage. The first and the 6 sentences are given in the beginning as S1, that means sentence 1, and S6, sentence 6. The middle 4 sentences in each have been jumbled up and labeled as P, Q, R, and S. So what you need to do, you're required to find out the proper sequence of the 4 sentences, and you have to mark your response accordingly on answer sheet. Now, I will give you a shortcut trick here. Why? Because most of the students, they fear this section, ordering of sentences, because there are no fixed rules. You have to use your logic whenever you are, finding out the right combination. Many students complain that it is a very time-taking affair. But trust me, after you follow the shortcut trick that I'm going to show you here, then you will be able to solve each question in less than 1 minute. Yes, you can write it down, less than 1 minute, and you can solve the question, one single question from ordering of sentences in much lesser time. Okay, so here we go. We will start. So it's important, first of all, to read the first and the last sentence of the passage. All right. So the sentence 1 is, Chinua Achebe was born in 1930 and educated at the government college in Umuahia, Nigeria, right? And sentence 6 is, Chinua Achebe has written over 20 books, including novels, stories, essays, and collections of poetry, and won the Nobel Prize for Literature, right? Now, there are P, Q, R, and S. What will you do? Will you read each and every sentence of P, Q, R, S? No, it will take your time. Now, we will find the key here. So, this is basically the lock. You need to find a key and open the lock. And you have got less than 1 minute. What will you do? You need to find out the key. How will you find the key? You need to find out clues or hints, which is hidden, not anywhere else, but within these sentences itself. So you need to scan through the sentences first and find out the clues for the key to find out. And do not go and read the sequence, the combinations, the options, right? Just skip that part. Read the first sentence carefully and the last sentence carefully. Now, look at here. Chinua Achebe was born in 1930, educated at the government college, right? Etc. So basically it was talking about his birth and then his education. If you go scan through these 4 sentences, you will find sequence S is talking about the education of Chinua Achebe. He received a BA from London University in 1953, and in 1956 he studied broadcasting in London at the BBC. Always remember, you have to connect the dots and there should be a continuity in between. So when the first sentence is talking about the birth and education, so the second sentence will also be a continuation of the first sentence. That means it will be containing some information about his education itself. So basically you need to find out the combination that will start with letter S. Now look into the options. There are 4 options. Out of 4, only one option is with the sequence S, starting with the sequence S. That is, my dear students, is your right answer. Okay? So your answer is option A. No need to look into the sentence, but you can go and match the combination. Okay, that's important. So don't just blindly write down the answer, just go and match it like SRPQ. So let's match it. Let's start. He received a BA from London University in 1953 and in 1956 he studied broadcasting in London at the BBC, right? He joined the Nigerian Broadcasting Company in Lagos in 1954, later becoming its Director of External Broadcasting. During the Civil War in Nigeria, he worked for the Biafran Government Service. After the war, you see there's a connection. After P comes Q. And what war is he talking about? The Civil War in Nigeria, right? So after the war, he was appointed Senior Research Fellow at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Okay? And then comes, after Senior Research Fellow, his literary work. 20 books, novels, stories. So you see, there is a logical connection. And this is your answer. Now you're definitely sure this has to be your answer. You see, it took less than 1 minute for me to find out the key and the answer. Okay, so you need to solve the question from ordering of sentences with sharper mind, with effective steps and tricks. Now we will proceed on to the next question. Again, we will read the first and the last sentence very, very carefully. Okay, these two are the clues. We need to read them very carefully. Every person carries in his head a mental model of the world, a subjective representation of external reality, writes Alvin Toffler in Future Shock. The last sentence is, when we begin to think, we can do so only because our mind is already filled with all sorts of ideas with which to think. Now, again, we will not go through thoroughly in each and every sequence PQRS. Read the first sentence. Every person carries in his head a mental model of the world. If you scan through PQRS sequence, you'll find there is a mention of this mental model is, he says, like a giant filing cabinet. Sequence Q. This mental model here is alluding to the first sentence. So obviously, you have to find out the combination starting with sequence Q. Read the options, you'll find there is only one option starting with option Q, option C, that is QRPS. That is your answer. Match it and you'll find it out. So this mental model is, he says, like a giant filing cabinet. It contains a slot. It here means the mental model. The giant filing cabinet contains a slot for every item of information coming to us. It organizes our knowledge. Again, it is mentioning the same thing, the mental model, the giant filing cabinet. It organizes our knowledge and gives us a place for which to argue. As E.F. Schumacher says, when we think, we do not just think, we think ideas. And then you see the last sentence is all about when we begin to think. So the same word think is being repeated here too. So now you are sure your answer is option C. Easy, right? Next question. Biology is the study of life in its entirety. Last sentence. Classical, descriptive and clueless biology found a theoretical framework in the evolutionary theory of Darwin. Now, again, if you scan through the sequences, PQRS, there is only one sequence that talks about Darwin, and that is Darwinian ideas of evolution by natural selection changed the perception completely. Sequence Q. So therefore, the last sentence, S6, should only be preceded by option Q, the sequence Q. So let's find out the one option, the one combination with Q at the very end. Now, here is a problem. We have got two combinations, RSPQ, SPRQ. Both the combinations are ending with Q. So Q is not the only clue. We need to find out more clues to be much more specific. So let's find out. See here. The growth of biology as a natural science during the last 1,000 years is interesting from many points of view. One feature of this growth, here this growth means the growth of biology. So obviously R should be followed by S, that we know. So let's find out. RS will come one after the other. Q will be at the end of the sequence, the combination, and the only combination is option A, RSPQ, right? This is your answer. Answer A, you can match it. You will find that this is your answer. Okay? Next question. Biology is the youngest of the formalized disciplines of natural science. Last sentence. Life expectancy of human beings has dramatically changed over the years. So it's talking about biology being the youngest of the disciplines of natural sciences, and then the last one is life expectancy of human beings being dramatically changing over the years. Again, if you scan through PQRS statements, you'll find in sequence Q something like the discovery of antibiotics and synthetic plant-derived drugs, anesthetics have changed medical practice on one hand and human health on the other. So here you can find the connection, the direct connection between the improving of human health and the increasing or changing of life expectancy of human beings. So what is your key? What shall be the combination of your key? It should end with the sequence Q. Find out in the options. There is only one option, SRPQ, option D, ending with sequence Q. That is your answer. Answer is option D. You can just match the sequences, the combinations, and you will see that how they are logically connecting, right? Next is the next sentence. Sentence 1. People in society need many goods and services in their everyday life, including food, clothing, shelter, transport, etc. Last sentence, the teacher in the local school has the skills required to impart education to the students. Now, people in society need many goods and services, right? Now, if we scan again through PQRS statements, you'll find in statement S, it's talking about, in fact, the list of goods and services. So you see the term goods and services is repeated again in sequence S. So, you can now very well understand that you have to find a combination where it will start with the sequence or statement number S. In all these four options, there is only one option starting with the combination, the statement number S. So, SRQP. So, this is your answer. Again, your answer is option D. So, you can just check and match, and that will be your answer definitely. Next one, farming is the main production activity in the village. Sentence 1. Sentence 6 is, the last sentence is, the new ways of farming need less land but much more capital. Right? Now, we don't find any, because this is all about the farming thing, we don't find any definite information from sentence 1 and 6. So what we will do, we will try to find the clues from the PQRS statements. So look at S. This is an important achievement since land is fixed and scarce. What is this pointing to? What is this important achievement? Since land is fixed and scarce, we have to find it out. Okay? So let's find out. And that is, these have allowed the farmers to produce more crops from the same amount of land. So basically, the important achievement that sentence S is talking about is producing more crops from the same amount of land. And this is an important achievement because land is fixed and scarce. So then, you have to find a combination where statement P will be followed by statement S. So PS combination you have to look forward to. Out of these four combinations, there is only one combination which is having PS combination together, one after the other. And that is option A, QPSR. And this, my dear students, is your answer, option A. So you can match it and you will find that this is your answer. Okay, you can read the sentences according to this combination. The next question. Sentence 1. Britain was the first country to experience modern industrialization. Sentence 6 is, This gave people a wider choice for ways to spend their earnings and expanded the market for the sale of goods. What is this alluding to? You have to find it out. Okay. Now, there are two options. First, by then a large section of the people received their income in the form of wages and salaries than in goods. Or by the end of the 17th century, money was widely used as the medium of exchange. We do not know, we are confused. Let's find out some other clues. Now, here we are talking about 17th century. Here also we are talking about 17th century. This is matching. Now, let's read it. It had been politically stable. What is it denoting? Let's read. It had been politically stable since the 17th century, with England, Wales and Scotland unified under a monarchy. So these three were unified. Now this meant, what is this meaning? The unification of England, Wales and Scotland under a monarchy. This meant that the kingdom had common laws, a single currency and a market that was not fragmented, that means not divided by local authorities and uneven taxation. So now you can see that Q will be followed by P. That has to be there. Okay. Not only that, this is not only sufficient. Why? Because there are three combinations, QPSR, SRQP and RSQP, with these combinations one after the other. So we have to find out something else. Now then what happened? This had meant that the kingdom had common law, single currency, market. Okay, that was not fragmented. But by the end of the 17th century, what happened? Money was widely used as the medium of exchange. By then, by what time? By the end of the 17th century, a large section of the people received their income in the form of wages and salaries than in goods. So because money became a medium of exchange, so people started receiving their income also in the form of wages and salaries, in the form of money rather than in goods. So obviously S will be followed by R. And because of this, what happened? People got the wider choice for ways to spend their earnings on and expanding the market for the sale of goods. So now we have got this combination QPSR. So option A is your answer here. Okay. Next question. For several million years, humans lived by hunting wild animals and gathering wild plants. Last sentence. As a result of what? You need to find that out. As a result, conditions were favorable for the growth of grasses such as wild barley and wheat. Conditions were favorable. You see conditions. If you scan through these four statements, you will find the repetition of the word conditions here. Where? Sentence Q. This change took place because the last ice age came to an end about 13,000 years ago, and with that warmer, wetter conditions prevailed. As a result, conditions were favorable now for the growth of grasses, right? So we will have to find out a combination where Q will be the end of that combination. Okay? So it will be preceding the last sentence. So let's find out. Here we have got the one combination with Q at the end of the combination, and option D is our right answer therefore. Okay, you can just match it and you'll find that it is right. Next question. All governments claim eternal consistency and success. The last sentence. Diplomacy offers choices and those choices must be negotiated with other sovereign actors. Now, all governments claim eternal consistency and success. Some even claim omniscience. So here some means some governments. So you need to find a combination starting with S. But it is not sufficient because there are two combinations starting with S, as you can see. Right? So you have to find some other clues also to be more specific. And yet, the essence of governance is choice. So they may claim eternal consistency, they may claim success, they may claim omniscience, and yet means but, contrast. The essence of governance is choice. So Q will be placed after S. Okay, so it should be SQ. There is only one combination where S is placed before Q, immediately before Q, and that is option A, SQPR. Therefore, your answer is option A. Okay, you can match it, and I am sure that you will find that this is correct answer. Now we come to the last question from CDS 1 2020 ordering of sentences. The sentence 1 reads, Buddhism continued to spread into many lands of Asia during the period of 5th and 6th century. Okay? Sentence 6, he translated, who is he? We need to find it out. He translated several scriptural commentaries into Pali and wrote a work called the Visuddhimagga, which soon attained the status of a classic work on Theravada doctrine and meditation. Who is he? Find it out. Scan through the sentences and you'll find that it's basically talking about the monk Buddha Ghosha. This he means the monk Buddha Ghosha. So S will be coming at the very end of the combination. Let's find out. Let's see what are the options here. You see S is there at the end of all these three combinations. So S at the end of the combination is not sufficient, right? You have to find something else. So let's see what we can find. You see, if you read P, while this can be understood as a part of larger processes of cultural interaction, especially trade, a key role was played by monks. And if you immediately read Q, it says we know a little bit about some of them. Here them means the monks. So now you're clear that P will be followed immediately by Q in order to be much more specific, grammatically correct. So then you need to find out the combination PQ one after the other and S at the end of the combination. Let's find out. And here we are, option C. PQ or S ending with S, PQ one after the other. This is the only combination and answer or option C is your answer. So you see how easily just by applying the shortcuts that I have shown you here, you are able to solve the questions, and I'm sure you will be able to solve the questions like this easily without taking much time. But if you are still confused, you can just check the detailed explanations and question solving strategies, shortcuts, tips and tricks on this particular section on ordering of sentences by just watching and following my lectures, which you can easily get by buying the courses from SSBCrackExams.com. So visit that website and buy the courses, but just don't forget to use the code Warrior10 for an extra 10% discount on all courses. So don't just wait, hurry up, subscribe to SSBCrackExams.com for this limited period offers and attractive discounts. And don't forget to fly high, achieve your dreams, serve your nation and make your country proud. Jai Hind.